Kit Kats Can Read. Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be bringing you my October TBR. This time around I'm doing it a bit different. There's less books that are on it. It gets more complicated because I do get review books in the post, and then my TBR tends to change because of the review books because they're more important. However, I'm going to try and stick to these books as much as I can, and I'm hoping that my reading is going to be a lot better. I'm going to try and sort of like schedule in so that I can get some reading done each day. So without further ado, let's get started. First of all, I'm going to begin with the books that I'm currently reading, and the first book is Midnight Sun by Trish Cooke. I started this during the Contemporary-a-thon last month and I didn't get around to finishing it, unfortunately. I could have easily have done it, but unfortunately I just didn't, and I'm gutted because I literally have like 50 pages left. So look, there's just this left at the end of the book. That's crazy. It's just that amount. So I'm going to easily finish this month, so that'd be great, and that'd be like a first book read of October. So I'm definitely enjoying to finish this book and looking forward to it, and then doing a review for you guys. This next book that I'm currently in the middle of reading is Beardy's World by Joyce Ives. Its diary is from 1986 to 2012 of these bearded collies, and it's told from the point of view of these sort of bearded collies, and it also has some pictures throughout of their life, and it's basically just sort of about the memories shared by Joyce, the author, and she's done it in this really inspiring way, and people who love dogs, especially bearded collies, it's definitely for them. And I'm only like on page 14, but it's, you know, I just love it so much. So I'm looking forward to reading more of this one. The next physical book that I'm currently in the middle of reading, which I didn't touch during the month of September but I'm hoping to continue in October, and that is Summer at Hope Meadows by Lucy Daniels. I'm only on page 95, however recently I have tabbed it out like every 50-ish pages, so I'm hoping that this will sort of spur me on to read this like every day. So I'm looking forward to reading more of this. But if you guys don't know, if you read the Animal Arc books when you were younger, this is Mandy Hope, the main character from those books, as she is an adult. So this is her as she's a vet now, a qualified vet. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to hopefully reading more of this in October. The next book that I'm currently in the middle of reading is A Sky Painted Gold by Laura Wood. I didn't really touch this in September either, and I'm currently on page 182, which is near enough halfway through the book actually, like if you look at where this is, so it's pretty much halfway. And this is kind of like a Great Gatsby styled book. It definitely has that vibe and the feel, like from the age of the flappers, and it's definitely mysterious. So I am really enjoying this book actually, so I'm hoping to pick it up more in October. The next book that I'm currently in the middle of reading that I could so easily finish in October, and I think I'm going to actually, and that is Badgers in the Basement by Lucy Daniels. This is book number 6 in the Animal Arc series, so I did kind of like start my nostalgic childhood feels with the Animal Arc series, and I read loads in the summer, and I'm literally on chapter 6, so I am halfway through this book, but I'm gonna read this in October so that I can get this out of the way and finally finished. And then I've got Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, which I'm near to halfway through actually. So I'm like here, I'm on page 212, and I started this last month, but I put it off on my TBR because of the Contemporary-a-thon, as this isn't a contemporary. So I've been sort of listening to this on the audiobook as well as reading it from the physical book, but I am really enjoying this one. And the last book that I'm currently in the middle of mostly audiobooking, to be honest, is Sadie by Courtney Summers. This is literally the book that everybody is reading at the moment, but I'm listening to this book on Scribd, and I just recently got the ebook, so I'm going to be reading it from the ebook as well. But it's a young adult sort of like murder mystery book, and I'm definitely liking it, especially with the audiobook, because it is like a podcast with a full cast narrating the book, and it's really enjoyable, so I definitely recommend that. So those are my currently reading books out of the way, and now I'm going to let you guys know the books that Ben chose for my TBR for October. So basically the bookshelf behind me, Ben chose 4 books from, and the bookshelf that's in my bedroom, which contains all of my reread books, Ben chose one from. So I've got one reread and 4 actual books from this shelf. So I'll start by letting you guys know the reread book that he chose, and that is In Your Dreams by Amy Martin, which is book number 1 in the In Your Dreams series. I did do a non-spoiler video review on this book. It's like my first ever video review, so it was way back in like January 2013. So it's been several years since I've actually read this book. So I would like to reread this, and I haven't actually completed the series yet because she's written other books. Now this is an indie author, but this book is really, really interesting, and it is literally about like narcolepsy, and I loved it so much. So I'm looking forward to reading it like 5 years on, in fact over 5 years on now, and seeing what I think about it. The next book that Ben chose from this bookshelf is The Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton. Ben was like, oh, I like the cover to this book. He didn't really like read the back of it, but I did sort of mention that it's got like witchcraft in it. And it's quite dark, so it's perfect for October. So Ben was like, oh yeah, I like it even more now. The next book that Ben picked up was The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Ben was like, oh, this book is meant to be good. So he's put it on my TBR, plus it's a short book and I should get it read really because it is a classic. And the next book that he picked up was The Island by M.A. Bennett. He was like, this sounds like a really interesting book because it's about a plane crash and an island. And I was like, yes, that's why I got it. So I'm really, really happy that he chose this book. And the last book that he chose was actually A Journey Through a History of Magic by Harry Potter. Ben was like, you need to read this Harry Potter book. And I was like, well, I totally agree with you because I only got it, I think I only got it like this year anyway, and you know, it's a short book, so this would be easy to read through. And then myself, I added on the other book that I got alongside it, which is Harry Potter History of Magic, which is a companion book. And this again is like a very short sort of like factual book, which shouldn't take long as well. So I thought I'd plonk both of those in and like sort of count them as one. Those are the 5 books that Ben selected. I thought it was like really interesting because it sort of like gets Ben to like pick my books, and it's not me picking my books, and I'm really excited about all the books that Ben has picked because obviously I would have bought them or like had them for a reason. So yeah, I'm really excited to choose from them. But I've also got some books that, like I said, I was going to do in my weekly reading vlog, that I was still going to pick a book from each of my like book jars that are in my garage. So I managed to pick one from my physical TBR jar, one from my ebook one from my monthly recommendations, one from my physical review books, and then one from my adult books. So that's 5 of them, 5. And then I've managed to sort of like add an extra one on because I kind of need to. So I've technically kind of got 11 books, but since a book's arrived in the post today, that's a review book, at the moment it's going to be like 12. So who knows. So first of all, the book that came out of my physical TBR jar is Low Red Moon by Ivy Devlin, and I'm glad that this came out because I've actually had this book for a few years. And I really sort of like the inside of this book because there's red font, if you can see, like in the top and even at the bottom there's a little doodle. But I believe this is about a werewolf, which is perfect because October is the month of Halloween. So I thought that this was really, really good. So I'm glad that this came out, and I'm really looking forward to giving this a read. So from my adult book TBR jar, I actually managed to pull out a book that's in the middle of the series, which is Shopaholic and Sister by Sophie Kinsella. However, I haven't even started the series, so I thought I will pick the first book out, which is Confessions of a Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella. As you all are aware, I love Sophie Kinsella, so I thought this would be perfect. Obviously, this is the movie cover edition, and I've got this from a charity shop or a library sale, either way, and so it's perfect. And I'm looking forward to actually beginning this. I'm kind of like scared and wary as well because like I don't know like much about this series, and I haven't really heard people talk about it on BookTube. So if you guys have read this, let me know down below in the comments what you thought about it. But either way, it's Sophie Kinsella, so I'm hoping it's going to be really good. From my ebook of archived review books, luckily I had a physical copy of this book because this was back when I used to buy the books I didn't get around to reading as ebooks. And this is Side Effects May Vary by Julie Murphy. So I'm actually glad that this came out as well because I have had this a while too. and this one is about someone who is diagnosed with leukemia. So it's apparently like brutally honest and has a lot of wit and unflinching, and it's a compelling story of someone who struggles with cancer, love and living, and apparently it's very, very moving. So I'm honestly looking forward to giving this one a read. So out of my monthly recommendations jar, the book that came out is The Names They Gave Us by Emery Lord, and actually I think I remember a few people recommending this book, so I'm glad this came out because it's a contemporary, and it's nice to have a contemporary on my October TBR. So I'm looking forward to read this one, but this one sounds like it's going to be really touching because it says here that it's about Lucy's mother whose cancer comes back, and yeah, it sounds interesting. And there's a mysterious guy who is a counsellor called Jones, and yeah, so I feel like it's going to be really touching and really cute, and I'm looking forward to it. And the physical review book that I didn't pick out of a jar, I actually was like, well, I've got this for review this month, so I put it on anyway, and this is Rejoice by Stephen Erickson, and this is a recent book that I've got, but it actually comes out the 18th of October, so that's why I want to get it read as well. But this you will see in my September book haul, but this is about an alien AI that's been sent out into the solar system to represent 3 advanced species, and its mission is to save the Earth's ecosystem and the biggest threat that is to humanity. So the AI has to then make a choice: does it save mankind or does it wipe it out? So it kind of sounds, in a way, kind of a little bit similar to Illuminae with the AI from that book. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it. So it's an interesting sci-fi book, and I just thought it sounded cool, and I look forward to reading it. But the other book that's recently come in the post to me, and that's actually today, which is the 3rd of October, and that is Dry by Neil Shusterman and Jared Shusterman. So they have like co-wrote this book, and this book is actually released, when's it released? The 4th, so it literally releases tomorrow. That's why I thought I've got to put this on, because it's a review book. But this, it says here, it's about a drought, or a tap out as everyone calls it. It's been going on for a while. Life has become an endless list of don'ts. Don't water the lawn, don't take long showers, don't panic, but then there's no water left at all. So Alyssa's quiet suburban street spirals into a war zone of desperation and violence. When her parents go missing, she and her younger brother must team up with an unlikely group in search of water, and each of them will need to make an impossible choice to survive. And I like the sound of books that are about people that survive. So yeah, I really like survival sort of stories. So if you have any sort of survival stories to sort of recommend, like where people sort of like crash land onto an island, or you know, where things are different, like in a dystopian world where they've got to learn to survive around things, then let me know down below. But I'm really excited to give this a read actually, so I'm putting this on my October TBR as well. I know it's going to be sort of like wishful thinking, but it's a review book, so I've got to get that out of the way because that's more important. Last but not least, from my ebook TBR jar, I pulled out Notes from My Captivity by Kathy Parks. I've got the paper here, but I'll place the picture over here about this one. So this one is actually a fairly recent ebook that I have got, and it definitely sounds interesting. So you know, so far, like since I've had ebooks on my TBR, I normally don't get around to reading them because I just don't get time, but I'm hoping that I do really get around to this one because it does sound really good, and I'm looking forward to giving it a read. And if you guys have read this book, let me know what you thought about it down below so I can get your thoughts on it. I very nearly forgot my unwrapped books. The books I normally like unwrap one a month, and I started it like a few months ago. So I've got 3 left to choose from: October, November and December. I've got number 5, number 4 and number 1. So I've got my little spinny app. I've done it up to number 5 because I've got 5 is the biggest number, so I'm going to spin it in the video for you guys and hope that one of those numbers turns up, or spin it until 1 does. That was number 3 that time. Number 3 again. Number 5. There you go, there's your proof. Number 5, which is the chunkiest of them all. Why is it that way? So find out what it is that I put in here. Aha! The Bells by Donielle Clayton. So The Bells is my October unwrapped book, so I'm going to try and see if I can attempt to get this read, and I'm looking forward to it. Other than that, guys, that is literally the end of my TBR for October. So in total there's like 12 books realistically, but that's not including the books that I'm currently reading. I'm currently reading loads of books and I would like to get those read as well. So I'm thinking of sort of like the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to read the review books, and or maybe like read a review book and then read one of the books I'm in the middle of reading, and then read a review book and then read another book that I'm in the middle of reading, and then continue and finish all of the other books I'm in the middle of reading, and then go on to the books that Ben has chosen me, and then go on to the books that the TBR jars have chosen me, and so on and so forth. But I'm hoping that my reading is going to be a lot better in October. I'm going to try and focus on reading as much as I can, or finding time in the day to read, and hopefully it's all going to go really, really well, and we will see. So if you have read any of these books that I've mentioned in today's video, please let me know down below in the comments what you thought about it, even if you didn't like it, or even if you loved it. Like, it's great to know your thoughts about it. I still always read books that people don't tend to like, just to get my own perspective on the book. I just think it's really interesting when people have a love-hate relationship with a book, and I just think that's really, really cool. So that's it for me. If you've done a TBR video, or if you want to just simply list the books that are on your October TBR, then let me know down below. You can link your links down below in the comments, or you can just comment the books that are on your TBR, and what books you're currently reading at the moment, what books you've recently purchased. If there's any other videos that you would like me to do, then let me know down below as well, because I would like to do some videos. I want to sort of film some autumny videos when I've finally got the day off and the time after I've finished cleaning my house for this inspection that is due. So if there's any videos that you would like to see me do, then let me know down below as well. But thank you very much for watching my videos as always. If you are new to my channel, if you'd like to see more of my videos and my content, then you can click on the subscribe button. All of my social media links will be linked down below in the description. And all in all, guys, just keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. My name is Katie, and I'll see all of you wonderful, awesome people in my next video. Bye!